Hello and welcome to What's in this week's Oban Times with me, Fiona Scott.
Me, Kathy Griffiths.
And as always, beavering away in the background is our resident IT expert, Stevie Day. Hi, Stevie.
Hello, how are you both?
Oh, we're fine.
We are absolutely fine and very excited about today's podcast.
Yeah.
All will be revealed.
Oh, yeah, and you'll notice Ellis isn't with us today, our Ellis.
That's why I'm excited.
I thought poor Ellis will be thinking he's not wanted. But Ellis is off on a well-earned holiday, and before he went, he made sure all the latest business news was pulled together for the paper, so you can find out what's open, what's not, and what's happening in the business world. Thank you, Ellis, if you're listening.
Thank you, Ellis.
So, yeah, it's been another busy week in the paper. I've been looking at the sports pages as usual, and we've got an Olympian in the sport this week. Woo!
Oh, sorry, should I do some extra? Woohoo!
So, yeah, this is Tyrese sailor Luke Patience, who was supposed to be heading off on his third Olympic Games this July, but as all sporting events were this year, that was cancelled. So Luke had a pretty nervous wait to see if he'd be reselected for the same event, which has been moved to 2021. But eventually heard that, yes, he'd been reselected. So, and then lockdown happened. So he spent lockdown with his mum and dad on the island. And he just got back down to his training last Thursday. He left, so he'll be hoping to better the silver medal he won at the London 2012 Olympics. So that was an interesting chat we had with Luke. You can see that in this week's Oban Times. Kathy, what have you been doing?
Well, I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Oh,
I'll give you the good news first.
Yay!
Toilets are opening. Public
oh,
toilets.
Yes.
Yeah. So the ones at North Pier are open. The ones at Ganavan were due to open this week, and then there's going to be a rolling programme of other public toilets opening here and then over on the islands as well. So that's the good news. Now for the bad news: parking charges. As from Saturday, you're going to have to get all your loose change out or have your card ready and pay for where you park. It started. So there you go. Now, there's been a bit of a sort of mixed response to that because a couple of folks I've been talking to are saying, we really need to be trying to encourage people to come into the town and sort of start, visiting our businesses and spending money. So maybe they should have hold fire for a little bit. They could have waited until we were further down the, the route map of getting out of lockdown and getting back to normal. And then it was also commented, I don't know if anyone else spotted this, but 6 spanking new, white, dazzling electric cars lined up, a bit like a showroom in the Corran Halls car park over the last week. The Argyll and Bute Council livery signs on the side of them. These are part of a new green fleet for the council. So I think they've already got some electric cars, but these are adding to them. But so there's a few comments about those saying, looked a bit like a showroom, and you're going to start charging us for parking spaces, and here you are showing off your cars when a lot of people are actually experiencing quite a lot of hardship at the moment. So you can read all about that, people's takes on the parking charges and the new electric cars in this week's OT.
Another thing, moving away from cars and onto the water, Dr. Colin Wilson is retired from Oban RNLI after 30 years as a volunteer crew member. 30 years he's been doing that. So you can read what he and his lifeboat colleagues had to say about his departure in this week's Oban Times.
I was also going to mention another story I've been working on. A little bit out of our area, except we did have a link to us at Appin. The Commandos Memorial at Speen Bridge over the weekend, bikers turned up and set up camp there, which has upset an awful lot of people because, of course, it is the Commandos Memorial, and people linked to the Commandos over the years have scattered the ashes of loved ones there. So to see camps, tents set up and people eating and drinking and other things sort of going on was rather heartbreaking. And I've been speaking to a lady called Susan Simpson who lives in Appin, whose grandfather, William Harvey, was actually killed in action. He was he was liberating a Dutch town in 1944 when he was gunned down, and he's buried in Holland, but there is a plaque at Speenbridge Memorial in his memory. So she was absolutely devastated to see this kind of behaviour going on there. So we've been talking to her. So yeah, that'll get people talking, I think. We need to be careful where people are camping. And the council has also been asking people to camp responsibly, go to official campsites where there's proper facilities rather than wild camping. And if you do go somewhere and have waste and rubbish, take it home with you.
Yeah, it's a simple enough thing to do, whether it be official campers, wild campers, or people just having a picnic. Just clear up your mess after you. How difficult is that?
Yeah, and something else to mention, and it sort of runs into the commando story, because there were reports that some of the same group of bikers had rocked up in Oban the next day. And I spoke to a guy who worked at the station who actually caught some of these guys urinating around the back of the station. It's all on CCTV. He did report it to the police. We did speak to the police. Yes, they knew about it. Yes, they went round and had a chat with some of these chaps and moved them on. They weren't fined. You can actually be fined £40. But the police are saying it's, enforcing it and finding people at the moment is the last resort. They will talk to people in the first instance. But I think, with public toilets opening everywhere, let's hope people use them, because we really don't want people doing the business in places where the rest of us are going to have to walk and, and pass by. There we go. It's important. It's important. We all need to stay healthy and safe. So let's all look after each other.
Yeah. So here at the Oban Times, we're always happy to hear from you. So stay in touch, tell us your stories and share your photos. You can contact us by calling 01631 568 000 or emailing editor@obantimes.co.uk. You can also message us on Facebook. During the COVID crisis, you can read all our stories for free online or pick up a copy of the Oban Times from supermarkets, newsagents and petrol stations. To get the page-turning digital edition of the Oban Times, subscribe now and get 3 months for the discounted price of just £4.80. So for now, we're still asking you to stick to all the current COVID guidelines. And it's goodbye from me, Fiona Scott.
And goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.